Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his Wednesday guest, Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. So over the last 18 months or so, you and I have been participating in real estate meetups via the famous Zoom and Facebook Lives and things of that nature. We do that because we like to stay in the know. We like to meet people. I personally like to see what everybody's doing because sometimes I go the other direction. Everybody's syndicating. Everybody's Airbnb. Zuber is going the other direction. What I thought was interesting is you actually went to an in-person meetup here this week. So how was it? Was it well attended? What's going on?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah. Last night, real estate roundtable here in Sacramento. And it's a meeting that I used to attend once a month pre-COVID.
Mhm.
And, haven't met in person in 18 months. A couple of the guys called me and said, hey, we're going to meet Tuesday the 5th. Come join us.
Yeah.
And it's just good to talk to people. It's one thing I realized too, and it's something that people should hear, and it should make them want to go to real estate meetups.
Mm-hmm.
There is a handful of people at these meetups that have made it. If you run into Mike Zuber at a meetup, if you run into some of these other folks at a meetup, Mike Zuber doesn't need anything from anybody. He's showing up there to add value and say, hey, I'm passionate about this and I've seen what it can do to affect other people's lives. It's affected my life. Let me help you out. And last night, our buddy Ryan Nickle, Ryan Nickle.
Oh yeah, of course.
He was one of the presenters.
Oh,
and
I love Ryan. He created material he called me up and goes, Michael, I love what you're doing. I want to create I was going to say creative financing. Dude, the guy created like 4 hours of bonus content, just like you. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I love Ryan.
And it's pure gold, right? And he was sharing all his secrets last night, talking about creative financing, talking about driving for dollars, talking about everything that he's doing.
He's awesome.
And, meetups like that one are free.
Yeah.
Matt, the mortgage guy, sponsored the first $100 in drinks. And, so you can come, you can get a free drink, you can sit and you can listen to guys like Ryan who have done great work. And there was a couple others that were speaking about flipping, another guy that was speaking about other stuff, but I forgot how cool those things are. Right.
Yeah.
And for me, it's fun. I enjoy talking to real estate agents, talking to clients, doing market research. That's not like the latest Yahoo Finance blog, right? I want to talk to people about what's going on. And so last night, I'm just having conversations of what are people doing? People that are investing in certain markets where there's no inventory, they're building ground up. People who, are seeing some migration or tech companies going to certain parts of the country.
Yeah.
They're, investing between Austin and what was the other city? I don't know, but it's super, super valuable.
Yeah.
Just like reading the book, getting involved in the one rental at a time community, you go out and you meet people and you learn some best practices.
Yeah.
You learn some tactics and tricks.
Real estate meetups and this is no exaggeration. And I give credit in the book, my first book, One Rental at a Time, a real estate meetup fundamentally set us up to retire early. It was a real estate meetup. It was I want to say 2005. It might've been early 2006. It was done by a gentleman named Bruce Norris, who used to be a huge California investor. He's now in Florida, but he had a real estate meetup called the California Crash. That got my attention, right? I'm sitting here with 7, maybe 8 units in California. And I'm like, what do you mean a California crash? The party is on. Real estate never goes down, blah, 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 right? I go to his meetup. I pay money. This wasn't even a free meetup. This was like, I think it was 100, maybe $200. It was something, right? It was like, hey, it was the classic, hey, on Thursday, come to a free meetup. And if you really want to get the details, it's on Saturday. I paid to go to this. And he basically introduced a couple of concepts, most specifically the affordability index, that fundamentally changed my investing career and saved my ass. I would not be here today. I would be working right now in tech, probably in a foreign country, if I didn't go to that meetup. And that is no exaggeration. So Bruce Norris.
Wouldn't be having nearly the fun you're having now.
Oh, dude, it's my life is every day Saturday. So yeah, real estate meetups. And again, I've gone to, I don't know, 100 real estate meetups, and probably 50 of them, I have taken away something that's changed my business for the better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's after 20 years. It still happens. Real estate meetups. Sometimes I go just to see what everybody's doing, right? It's one of my early indicators. What are all the newbies doing? Right? In 2018, why did I sell an apartment building? Because all the newbies were brand new syndicators. Now it seems like everybody wants to be Airbnb or Airbnb arbitrage. I'm like, that's going to get a little deep, right? So avoid that. So again, I go sometimes to see what not to do, but again, relationships. I found deals at meetups. I've gotten cheaper money at meetups. You got to go, right?
Right. And that's the thing too, is you're inevitably going to be attracted to or go towards somebody who's doing something that you want to do.
Yeah.
And then you talk to them, and somebody like Ryan, who's seen hundreds of deals, is going to say, here's a lesson I learned on this deal. And literally last night's presentation, he went through like 4 or 5 different acquisitions where he said, lesson learned, lesson learned, lesson learned. So by going, if you're going to, pursue any of those avenues and try to do anything that he's doing, you can say, okay, I remember what Ryan told me. I'm going to avoid that.
Yeah.
That one of the things he talked about was during the pandemic, he thought he was super savvy because he was going to pre-sell. Right. And so it's like, I'm rehabbing it. And in order to get this thing offloaded quick, so I go on the next deal, I'm going to pre-sell it. So I've got a buyer already. Well, in a market that was going bananas, he was pre-selling for 240 and then it appraised for 265. Oops. And I love that so much, where people who are humble enough to say, I haven't been perfect. I've taken action and I've seen some success, but I've done things wrong. Let me tell you about the things I've done wrong so you can avoid it.
That's awesome. And again, Ryan Nickle's in my course. He's in the Facebook group. I think Ryan is just one of those investors that's more focused on giving back now. He's got he's very humble beginnings, right? He talks about in the course in my interview with him about how he had to leave his family for, I think it was 6 months while he went and learned, right? I think he followed somebody to Florida or Atlanta or something. And then he sacrificed, and he deserves all the success that he has now. So if you ever get a chance to hear Ryan Nickle talk or speak or go to an event and he's headlining, go to the event, because you are going to get some truth. So that's very cool. So I'm glad you got to see him.
Super savvy investor and just great human being. Like that dude a lot.
Totally agree. Well, Matt, thank you very much. And again, folks, if you have PMI, you're paying over 4%, or you want to maybe shorten your term if you've been in there, what URL should they go to?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com. Ping us. We're happy to help. All 50 states. Yeah. We can give you good advice. The advice is always free.
Yep. And let him know you came from One Rental at a Time or ORAT, and make sure he'll take care of you. So thank you very much, buddy.
Cool. Thanks, Mike.